Hi beautiful, welcome to High Vibe Honey. This week's topic is about focusing on the beauty. And the idea of this came when I was sitting outside with Madeline in my garden and we were talking about what's going on in the world right now. Politics are so complicated, and even when we feel like there's a solution to something, there are other counterpoints that can make things feel almost impossible. Like, how do you know what's the right thing to do? It kind of feels like everything is a trap, everything has a downfall, everything has a counter argument that makes it really hard to know what the right thing is to do. And if you're watching this, I know that you're someone who cares deeply about the world and the people in it and social issues, and you want to be able to do the right thing, but you might kind of feel like you don't know what that could possibly look like. So as we were discussing this, what I was talking about was, even though you might look at the world as a whole and feel like it's really fucked up, there's so much systemic problems, there's so many things that feel impossible, at the same time, the world is also a really beautiful place. There are still great people doing amazing things. There are still swimming pools and road trips and shooting stars and music and fantastic things to be excited about and to celebrate and to enjoy. So when we focus too much on the macro, like the huge issues, big political things, big social issues, when we look at that all the time, it can feel really overwhelming and it can feel hard to feel good. So we have to remember that as we're looking at these big issues and as we are, committed to doing the best that we can with the knowledge that we have and committed to learning more, we also have to remember that the world is still beautiful. And we have to remember to put our focus on little things too, so that we have the energy to deal with big issues. Self-care is an essential piece of activism. It is not selfish. It is something that is integral to activism. It's built into it. And if you are not taking care of yourself, if you are not remembering the beauty, if you are not taking time for gratitude and to laugh with your friends and to enjoy your life, you will not be a successful activist. You will not be helpful. You will not be able to affect any change. So that's what we're focusing on today, remembering to look at the micro things that are so beautiful and not get lost in systems and huge, countrywide, society-wide issues. We know that they're there and we're still committed to looking at them and we're committed to doing what we can where we can, but we also are active in the pleasure of our own lives. We are participating in pleasure, and we don't feel that it's selfish or ignorant to do so. We understand that our pleasure is an essential piece of activism, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. It's going to be great. So we're going to do some tapping on this. If you've never done tapping before, it is an energetic technique that is kind of like acupuncture without needles. I once had an acupuncturist get mad at me for saying that because, I don't know, she just got mad, but that's okay. It's okay for somebody to get mad. Do you know what I'm saying? It's actually okay. I don't have to please everyone, and that's not my job, and it's not your job either. So, we're gonna tap on this, and it's gonna be fantastic. So all you need to do is follow what I'm doing, repeat after me, and it's gonna feel great. Now remember, we are still in a global pandemic. Please wash your hands before we tap together, and make sure you have a bottle of water beside you. Have a little guzzle of it right now, glug glug, and then drink some when we're done as well. It's good to keep the energy flowing through your body, and staying hydrated is a really good way to do that. Even though life can be challenging, it can still be beautiful. And today I am going to look at the idea that I can hold two opposing thoughts. That the world can be unjust, but that it can also be beautiful. And that when I get too hung up on the external world, sometimes I lose sight of my beautiful inner world. And it's okay to pay attention to both. In fact, the more attention I pay to my own world, and the more that I soak up pleasure, And the more entrenched I am in the present moment, the more effective an activist I can be. Because if I don't look after myself, I certainly can't look after anyone else. So I may have been feeling exhausted. And I may have been feeling defeated. But today I am going to remember the beauty right in front of me. And I'm going to pay attention to all of it. I'm going to revel in the things that I see. I'm going to remember how much I love my friends. I'm going to get high on the art that I love. And I'm going to remember that the world is a beautiful place, full of fantastic things, full of magic and geniuses. And if I'm not seeing that, it's because I choose not to see it. Now, this isn't about spiritual bypassing or sticking my head in the sand or pretending that life isn't sometimes really hard. But it's about remembering that life can be hard and be beautiful. And that choosing to put your attention on what is good is a sign of strength. And that when I fill my own cup, I have so much more to give. And I can't change anything if I don't change myself first. So even though this year has been fucking crazy, I deeply and completely love and accept and forgive myself. And even though a lot of people have showed their ass this year, maybe I could even start to accept and forgive and love them too. I am committed to seeing the beauty, even while I work on really hard things. That's what makes me so strong and so exceptional and so sensational.
Sensational.
Take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, and let it go. Thank you for doing that with me. I hope it's really inspired you to just be in your body as opposed to being in your head. I think a lot of us this year have really been in our heads. And the more that we overthink things, the more we intellectualize our problems, the more lost we get. It's really important that everything we do comes from our heart, that we let our heart lead us in the decisions that we make, rather than over-processing things, overthinking things. It doesn't lead us to anywhere productive. I really want us to be in our bodies and use our bodies to let us make the choices, make the hard decisions, because when you are led with your heart, things become really simple, and you'll know the right thing to do, and it won't be something that's even up for debate. It'll be so clear what you should be doing with your time. So I hope that this has helped you. I hope it has brought you back into alignment with yourself and with your higher self that already knows the right thing for you to do, that already sees the beautiful person that you are, and that is like actively looking for the best parts of life to have you experience. But when we're in our brains too much, we can't see that. We're not connected. We're not in alignment. So I hope this has helped you. And your homework for the week is to tell us 5 things that you are so grateful for right now, that you can be grateful for without even having to get up from your chair. Things that immediately come to mind. It's really important that we keep doing our gratitude exercises every day, because when the world is hard, we have to go even harder for the stuff that we love, for the stuff that's beautiful, and for the stuff that matters to us. So that's all for this week. Next time you see me on High Vibe Honey, I will have different hair, and it won't be a wig. It will be different hair. Place your bets now on what I'm doing. Wouldn't it be great if we did an America's Next Top Model makeover style of this and the mirror was covered and I didn't get to see my makeover until the end and then I just cried? All right, I'll see you next week. Bye.